Republican Congressman Andy Ogles of Tennessee introduced, am I reading this right, articles of impeachment against Vice President Harris? What's this about?
Where have I heard that name before?
Congressman Andy Ogles filed articles against President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris.
No, that's not it.
That's the guy who... Was he not the guy whose Christmas card?
2 years ago, he and his family posed for their Christmas card, all carrying weapons. He was also asked in that same interview if he regretted it, and he said, "Of course not. That's my right.
I didn't get that
bear
card.
arms."
Nope, not that either.
What did Tennessee Congressman Andy Ogles do with tens of thousands of dollars meant for a children's burial garden?
Okay, see, Willie, that's what I'm talking about.
That's the good stuff, so to speak.
It's a story that stems from a personal tragedy, the stillborn death of a child whose photo Ogles sometimes posts on his political social media.
The good stuff, but also the bad stuff.
2 days after the loss of the child in 2014, Ogles himself used a photo of his stillborn baby for a GoFundMe for something he called Lincoln's Place. It implored, help us help other families. No family should have to bury their child. No child should be alone. It promised a burial garden that would create a place for Lincoln's new play friends, a life-size statue of Jesus watching over the children, along with benches for families to sit while surrounded by flowers. And people responded to Ogles' emotional plea, donating almost $25,000. GoFundMe confirms Ogles got the money. Of course, this would not be a story if the future congressman had taken the money and used it as promised, or at least for a good cause. But here in the cemetery where Lincoln is buried, we checked from one corner to another. And just like the tipsters had feared, there is no children's burial garden, no benches for families to sit, no life-size statue of Jesus.
We now are supposedly in a post-truth time, and we cannot be.
In fact, a Tennessean newspaper story a year after the GoFundMe diplomatically raised the question of what happened with the money, quoting Ogles as blaming government bureaucracy. He claimed, what we found over the past year as we have been going through this process is that burials are heavily regulated. He insisted none of the money had been spent. A local funeral director was also quoted saying she still planned to meet with the family to help organize a unified effort to aid parents dealing with the financial and emotional trauma of burying children. 8 years later, that funeral director now says, quote, back at that time, we could have helped them do something, but they never came back to us. And the manager at the cemetery where Lincoln is buried says he met with Ogles a couple of times, but then he never came back. Neither knows what happened to the nearly $25,000 that people contributed. So we asked the congressman's office, but we never got an answer from them. Hey, Congressman, can we talk to you? Nor from Ogles himself. What did you do with the money that people donated for Lincoln's Place? Congressman, this doesn't have to be a story if you can just offer some evidence it went for a good cause. Was the money used the way you said it was? Congressman, are you not concerned about how this looks? Apparently lost on the congressman. As we've seen in other cases with Andy Ogles, it's just really hard to know what to believe.
He's decided that he can get away with almost anything.
It's ghoulish, it's creepy, and it's something you really ought to keep in mind.
This is not political in any way. It's human. Right.